Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork, Noodles for another breakdown of Kaiju number 8, episode number 4. Welcome back to the show. Hope you guys are looking after yourselves. There's now just a week left before my midway goes up. That's going to go up sometime, not this week, but the coming week up because I've got a few days out. It's going to be where I crown my top 3 OPs, EDs, and current standing of anime, which I expected to change quite quickly because every week my top 3 seem to be swapping around. There's no real consistency right now because I'm enjoying multiple shows. Will be interesting to see what I pick during that week in particular. It's probably going to be a 4-week chunk now before we get the overview for the next season. I'm very excited for that one in particular, but I'm going to have to do my big announcement either then or in the week one because it's going to be a disrupted season. I need to talk to you guys about that though, so keep yourself tuned. If you do want to also support the channel, because the computer that I am recording on is literally on its deathbed, there is a coffee account. Obviously you do not have to go and look at it or even think about it, but it is there just because the computer I'm on is probably not going to hold up for much longer. I'm looking into financial aid on that one. It is what it is. I mean, if I do fix the computer as well, it means I might actually be able to do live streams with you guys. I might be able to do more because I won't have to be competing with the fans. And it also means that Iona, my virtual tuber, she's going to run absolutely smoothly on the computer that I am looking at to replace. It's just lots going on my side that I'm dealing with. Hope you guys are looking after yourselves. Let's get into this week's episode because there's a lot of things that I want to pick out this week. I do want to say that I just love the relationship between Ichikawa and Kafka. I think that chemistry just works, and it's really nice to see that this week, instead of being a male tsundere, Ichikawa actually just stopped. He puts him on his back. He allows him to carry him, because I was expecting him to go off and do his own thing when he said you can go and do your own thing. This is his dream too. He's really warmed up to him, and they're such a dream team that I really do hope, like the guy said, can we just pass these guys for comic relief, because they are just comic relief. I am also on team just pass them. We know they do get passed, but I just don't know if it's because of the suspicions about what happens at the end that maybe gets them through, as opposed to we're passing you because you are comic relief. So it'll be interesting to see what the initial judgment call was on that, which I think we'll get next week. I am still not a fan of her. Shinomiya has got her backstory this week as well. They do try to make an explanation to why she is the way she is. I just still not a fan, but I do like the animation they use on her running sequence and her fight sequence. She is a badass character, very strong female. She is great for being independent as well. I think she shows a moment of weakness, which I like because it seemingly seems that she is covering for our boy, so I cannot fault her on that. Just still not a fan on the character, but she might warm to me, and I can imagine she's actually going to chill out a little bit now anyway. Now, the twist is that there is somebody else out there able to talk like Kafka, able to revive these fallen kaiju, who is humanoid, and we see at the end, even more dangerously, joining the team that Kafka is on, the cleanup crew. Both of them can talk, and I do wonder if that he maybe is the mastermind, and the guy who attacked Kafka and took over him is actually just weaker, and Kafka ended up just maybe taking his abilities and not so much letting his brain be taken over. So that is terrifying. It's a very scary twist, which I guess kicks up that trial into first gear, where everything is going wrong around you and everything's going back to life. The suit, we do get to see the suit in action, healing her up. We don't see the suit healing Kafka for some reason, but we do see it healing her. We are told that it uses the fibers from the kaiju to actually allow them to do this, and this is really cool. I think it might also be the fact that Kafka can't use his suit, so he can't actually access the healing abilities, but it is really cool to see it happen because it's very similar to what Kafka can do when he uses his kaiju powers in his form. And it's nice to see that they are applying the science that they're gathering from the kaiju around them into these forms that they can actually use to fight them. So that was quite cool. Now, Shinomiya's dad reminds me of Endeavor to Shota in My Hero Academia. You will be perfect. This is the top of the range. There's no love lost. Obviously, with Endeavor, he's warmed up a lot over the series and he is starting to atone for his mistakes. Don't know if it's going to happen with her dad, but we can see the pressure on her to just be perfect. There is no love here. You call me sir, you don't call me dad or anything, and that is sad. That is sad. I don't think any kid should be raised like that. It's nice to see that the butler does kind of care though. He seems to react more. He's like, oh, your dad's going to be proud, or he's the one who also seems to react a little bit when you can see how sad she is, that he's telling her that you shouldn't be happy about having one pass or anything. I think he does react, even if it is like silent react. I think he does care about her more so. The butler, Sebsu, of course, Sebastian, always the butler called Sebastian, that is the coolest part at times. The secret apparently is out, Kafka has to transform to save her. But it does seem like he's picked the right person to actually transform in front of, because I think with her not having that dad aspect in her life, when he actually asks her if she's okay and then starts to scold her about not looking after yourselves, he kind of becomes that momentary figure of a dad to her, which I think is nice. The fact that she sees him as an old man anyway, I do think that she will, and as we see, she's going to cover for him. Maybe she'll pull some strings to actually get him onto the team, because she is definitely guaranteed to go through anyway, because she's top of the range. She might just be like, I want this guy here, because she realizes the power he's got. She couldn't have done that at the end. It's what he does. But it is interesting to see that there are some suspicions about what's now going on, because the guy who comes up at the end asks her, is that what happened? And for a moment she hesitates, and then she's like, oh no, I did. And I don't think he seemed that convinced. I don't think he was 100% buying it, because he said that, I recognised this from 3 months ago where Kaiju number 8 actually appeared. So maybe he's starting to suspect something. I don't know if he's onto her or just thinks that something more is going on. But there's definitely a lot going on with the plot that seems to be now moving around with an understory about this, who's controlling the Kaiju and why can they speak and that kind of thing. But I did like the powerful words in the hospital where he says, you will be chasing your dreams, but there's always going to be somebody who can beat you at your own dream, at what you love. And I think it's how you can take that and perceive it which really makes and breaks it. Now, I am probably a prime example of somebody who can basically self-sabotage themselves. I will love what I'm doing, but then I'll see everyone around me as being so much better that I just stop bothering, or I stop pushing myself, or I just see there's no point as pushing. And I am guilty of this. I've definitely done this to myself. But I think what he's trying to establish is that he finds it cool that there's people better than him. It's that mindset that allows you to overcome the fact that, yeah, there's people better than you, but it doesn't mean you got to stop. It doesn't mean it's pointless to just stop. And I like that. Now, the new shapeshifter, now taking on the appearance of a man inside this cleanup crew, is quite dangerous. Maybe he does know Kafka's Kaiju, because it's a bit weird that he would have joined that particular party. I don't know if he's taken over a person that already exists, though, because he seems to have a form that the guy calls. He has him on the phone, but then he does say new kid. So he's just joined out of nowhere. You're now the new kid. So maybe he isn't taking over an actual body, but he's taken on the form of a Kaiju, as opposed to Kafka, where he ends up being taken over. But maybe that's because his brain, the human brain, is more powerful, and perhaps that way around, the Kaiju actually doesn't get to be in charge of the brain. Maybe there's a lot going on. I want to know exactly what's going on. There's a big mystery happening now, and I'm very happy about it. There is a quick brief reunion between Mina and Kafka, but it is, of course, very thank you for doing this, goodbye kind of thing. Obviously, it's not the right moment to talk to her. So for now, we're going to have that one put on the back burner. Of course, I think that's for the good, because that does seem to be the motivation officially to be standing next door to her. So if we have that just yet, the motivation may not be there. That is one of the driving forces for Kafka. A fantastic episode. Really can't wait for the next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you're looking after yourselves. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.